Then all right, then I want to work on accepting me then. I want to work on feeling all right about it. And that makes sense, that that'll come natural and then I don't have to worry about panic. Mm-hmm. But when things do seem so wrong for me and I have an impulse to do them, how can I accept that?
What you'd like to do is to feel more accepting towards yourself when you do things that you feel are wrong. Is that right?
Right. And I feel like I feel like you're going to say, now why do you think they're wrong? And I have mixed feelings there too. Mm-hmm. Through therapy, I'll say, now look, I know this is natural. Women feel it. Sure, we don't talk about it a lot socially, but all women feel it, and it's very natural. I've had sex for the last 11 years. I'm, of course, going to want it, but I still think it's wrong unless you're really, truly in love with a man. And my body doesn't seem to agree. And so I don't know how to accept it.
Sounds like a triangle to me, doesn't it? You feel that I, or therapists in general, or other people say, it's all right, it's natural enough, go ahead. And I guess you feel your body sort of lines up on that side of the picture. But something in you says, but I don't like it that way, not unless it's really right.
Right. Well, I have a hopeless feeling. I mean, these are all the things I sort of feel myself, and I feel, okay, now what?
Mm-hmm. I feel this is the conflict, and it's just insoluble, and therefore it's hopeless. And here you look to me, and I don't seem to give you any help. And
right. Mm-hmm. I really know you can't answer for me, and I have to figure it out myself. But I want you to guide me, or show me where to start, or so it won't look so hopeless. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know I can keep living with this conflict, and I know eventually things would work out. But I like feeling more comfortable with the way I live. Mm-hmm. And I'm not.
And then I meant to ask, what is it you wish I would say to you?
I wish you would say to me to be honest and take the risk that Pammy's going to accept me. And I also have a feeling if I could really risk it with Pammy, of all people, that I'd be able to see, here's this little kid that can accept me. And I'm really not that bad. If she really knows what a demon I am and still loves me and accepts me, it seems like it would help me to accept me more, like it's really not that bad. I want you to say, to go ahead and be honest. But I don't want the responsibility that it would upset her. That's why I don't want to take responsibility for it.
Yeah. You know very well what you'd like to do in a relationship. You would like to be yourself, and you'd like to have her know that you're not perfect, and you do things that maybe even she wouldn't approve of, and that you disapprove of to some degree yourself. But that somehow she would love you and accept you as an imperfect person.
Yes. Like I wonder if my mother had been more open with me, maybe I wouldn't have had such a narrow attitude about sex. If I would have thought that she could be, pretty sexy and ornery and devilish too, but I wouldn't look at her as being such a sweet mother, that she could also be the other side. But she didn't talk about that. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's where I got my picture. I don't know. But I want Pammy to see me as a full woman, mm-hmm. but also accept me.
Mm-hmm. You don't sound so uncertain.
I don't? What do you mean?
What I mean is, you've been sitting there telling me just what you would like to do in that relationship with Pam.
I would, but I don't want to quite take the risk of doing it unless an authority tells me that...
I guess one thing that I feel very keenly is, it's an awfully risky thing to live. Taking a chance on your relationship with her, maybe taking a chance on letting her know who you are, really.
Yeah, but then if I don't take the chance, if I feel loved and accepted by her, I'm never going to feel good about it anyway.
If her love and acceptance of you is based on a false picture of you, what the hell is the good of that? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I mean, yes. But I also feel there's a lot of responsibility with being a mother. I don't want to feel like I've caused any big traumas in the children. I don't like all that responsibility. I think that's it. I don't like it, feeling it could be my fault.
I guess that's what I meant when I said life is risky. It's to take the responsibility for being the person you would like to be with her is a hell of a responsibility.
It is.
A very frightening one.
And you know, I look at it two ways. I like to see myself as being so honest with the kids and really being proud of myself, though, that no matter what I told them or no matter how bad they might think I was honest. And down deep, it's going to be a much more wholesome relationship. And yet, you know, I get jealous of, like, when they're with their daddy. I feel he's more flip. He's not quite as real. He's not quite as honest. But nevertheless, they see a sweet picture of their dad. You know, he's all goodness and light. And I'm envious of that, too. I want them to see me just as sweet as they see him. And yet I know he's not quite as real with them. So it seems like I've got to swap the one for the other. And I know this is really what I want the most, but I miss some of that glory.
Yeah. You sort of feel, I want them to have just as nice a picture of me as they had of their dad, and if his is a little phony, then maybe mine will have to be too. I think that's putting it a little too strongly.
But that's close. That is what I mean. So, I wish I can't have that neat a picture of me if I were honest. Besides that, I do feel I'm a little more ornery than their dad anyway, so I'm likely to do more things that they disapprove of.
Sounds like you really find it quite hard to believe that they would really love you if they knew you.
That's right. You know, that's exactly it. Before therapy, I would have definitely chosen the other area. I'm going to get respect from them no matter what, even if I have to lie.
I see.
Well, right now, I know that's not true. And I'm not positive they'll truly accept me. Something tells me they will. I know they will, but I'm not positive. I want reassurance. I keep wanting these things.
You're in kind of a no man's land of probably shifting from one point of view toward them to another, but boy, you'd sure like somebody to say, that's right, you go ahead and do it.
Yes, that's why I get encouraged when I read in a book from somebody I respect and admire, that this is the right thing, no matter what, honesty will win out. Well, then that keeps giving me confidence, by gosh, I'm right. But
it's so damn hard to really choose something on your own, isn't it?
Which makes me feel very immature. I don't like this in me. I wish I were grown up enough or mature enough to make my decisions and stick by them. But I need somebody to help me on, somebody to push me.
So that you kind of reproach yourself for that, I guess, and feel, why, if I was anybody or if I was grown up, I'd be mature enough to decide things like this for myself.
Right. And take more risks. I wish I'd take more risks. I wish that I could just go ahead and be this and say, however the children grow up, I've done my best. I didn't have to constantly have this conflict. And I'd like later years to say, no matter what you ask me, kids, at least I told you the truth. You may not have liked it, but it's been the truth. That somehow I can admire. I disrespect people that lie. I hate it. So you see what a double bind I am in. I hate myself if I'm bad, but I also hate myself if I lie. So it's accepting. I want to become more accepting.
I guess, judging from your tone of voice, you sound as though you hate yourself more when you lie than you do in terms of things you disapprove of in your behavior.
I do. Because this has really bothered me. This happened with Pammy about a month ago, and it keeps coming to my mind. I don't know whether to go back and talk to her about it. Oh, wait, she may have even forgotten what she asked me. But,
One is you haven't forgotten.
I haven't, no. I haven't. And I'd like to at least be able to tell her that I remember lying, and I'm sorry I lied, and it's been driving me bugs because I did. I do. Now I feel like, now that's solved, and I didn't even solve the thing, but I feel relieved. I do feel like you've been saying to me, you're not giving me advice, but I feel like you're saying, you really want to You know what pattern you want to follow, Gloria, and go ahead and follow it. I sort of feel a backing up from you.
I guess the way I sense it is, you've been telling me that you know what you want to do, and yes, I do believe in backing up people in what they want to do. It's just a little different slant than the way it seems to you.
Are you telling me?
See, one thing that concerns me is it's no damn good you're doing something that you haven't really chosen to do. That's why I'm trying to help you find out what your own inner choices are.
But then there's also a conflict there because I'm not really positive what I want to do. The lying part, yes, but I'm not positive what I want to do when I go against myself.
Sure.
Like when I bring a man to the house. I'm not sure I want to do that. If I feel guilty afterwards, I must not have really wanted to.
I'm interested what you say. I'm not just sure which words you use, but you don't want it, you don't like yourself, or you don't approve of it when you do something against yourself.
Yes. You know, this is so different. Now, this kind of thing that we're talking about now, it isn't just knowing whether you want to do something or not. If I want to go to work in the morning or I don't want to go to work, that's easy. But when I find myself doing something I don't feel comfortable with, I automatically say, if you're not comfortable, Gloria, it's not right. Something's wrong. All right, now what I want to ask you is, how can I know which is the strongest? Because I do it, does that mean that's the strongest? And yet if I disapprove, that's just part of the thing that's got to go along with it? See, it sounds like I'm picking up a contradiction. I'm not following.
It sounds like you're feeling a contradiction in yourself, too. Although what I heard you saying in part is, the way you like it is when you feel really comfortable about what you're doing.
Yes. And I have at times when I've made a decision. Now that seems right. That seems perfectly right. No conflict. But then there are times I do things that I feel uncomfortable with. So that there is a conflict there. It's not the same at all. So what I'm saying is, how do I really know when I'm following my true feelings if I have conflicts afterwards or guilt afterwards?
I see. Because in the moment it may seem like your true feelings.
Yes. Like if I'm starting to do it, okay.
So that really is tough. When if you feel comfortable in the moment about it, but then afterward don't feel at all comfortable, which course of action was really the one you should have followed?
You know, the most outstanding thing, I don't know if you're following me when I say about this conflict, but one thing I know is I've wanted, for example, to leave my husband for quite a few years. I never did it. I kept thinking how nice it would be or how scary it would be, but I never did it. And all of a sudden when I did, it felt right. I didn't feel mean toward him. I just knew this is what I had to do. That's when I know I'm following myself. I'm following my feelings completely. I had no conflict there. Some unhappy things came from it, but I still had no conflict. That to me is when I'm following my feelings. And in everyday life, the small little decisions, the small little things to do don't come out that clear at all. So many conflicts come with them.
That's right.
Is this natural?
Although you're saying, I expect it is, but you're saying too that you know perfectly well the feeling within yourself that occurs when you're really doing something that's right for you.
I do. I do.